Hello everyone, welcome to my channel about writing stuff. My name's Camille and today I want to do something kind of different. I received, thank the Lord, an honorable mention from the L. Ron Hubbard Writers of the Future contest. And I've never been published or anything before, and I'm not going to be published now, but it is like the first actual thing where someone's been all like, you are almost writing at a professional level. You are doing shit right. So I'm just like clinging to that award because it's like, yeah, 2 years and a month I've been writing and I got one like solid thing that I can tell people I have accomplished. And I'm getting a certificate, which makes it official. But anyways, so since I got an honorable mention, like I was kind of floating for a minute, and then I devolved into like this, I just got an honorable mention mode. So I went to Dave Farland's blog, which if you're new here, Dave Farland is just like my favorite person ever when it comes to writing advice. He is the head guy judge of the L. Ron Hubbard Writers of the Future contest. So I went to his blog and I was like, tell me why I only got an honorable mention. Thankfully, he had a whole blog post on why people only get an honorable mention. And, they are little things, but in the grand scheme of story, people will notice if they're missing. So I want to talk a little bit about what elements could be missing from your novels or your short stories and how to recognize them. Some background on Dave Farland. He's won just a plethora of writing contests, and his big tip is he used to make a list of like 25 different ways or the 25 different things that judges would be looking for in his story. And, if you have all these elements in a story, you can really tell like any story with any type of character, with any type of premise, with any type of plot. And even though it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, it's going to feel like a whole cohesive story, which is what we're going for. Winning a contest or writing a gem, it is like stew, my children. I don't know. I want to tangent. Like I'm just on this whatever. Anyways, but it's literally like a stew. Like if you're missing your bay leaves, just readers may not be able to put their finger on it, but they would notice that small thing is missing. So a couple of things that really stuck with me from that blog post. We'll start with the easy stuff, like smell, taste, capturing all five senses. And it really goes into this idea of, we as humans perceive the world with our five senses. And to really immerse the reader into the character, you want, the character is reading. They're seeing words on a page, but you want to immerse them in the story by telling them what smells are, because smell does invoke memories, and it invokes memories in your reader as they're reading the story. And things like this. Another thing, internal dialogue of your character. I don't think I've really struggled with this problem a whole lot. I definitely did early on, but internal dialogue. You have a character through which the reader is seeing the story. Whether it's in first person or third person, we are in someone's head. So if you have a scene where like a car blows up in front of your character and we don't get any internal dialogue, it's going to read like just a crappy movie, which is, I think, the term like Dave Farland used. But it's, a car just blew up, and we're seeing it through this character. The reader wants to know, is the character freaking out? Did this explosion trigger something in the character from something earlier in their life? Did the character plant the bomb and make the car explode? Are they laughing? Come on, tell us. Give us some internal dialogue, because that will really tell us who the character is. It'll help cement us in their head, and it'll bring them to life. So internal dialogue, big thing. gosh, there were so many like little things that I'm trying to keep in mind. Oh, description. He also talked about this a lot in like a podcast hangout interview thing, but it's description. The best thing we can do as writers when we're writing is to envision the things we are writing about. It's this idea of you have a character who is on a jog through the woods. You, as the author, need to envision the woods, the trees, the path, the boulders, how the wind is playing with the leaves. Is the wind carrying smells or the sun beating down? Is it hot on their skin? Is it making their skin sweatier since they're jogging? Are the clothes chafing against their skin? And this is another thing that hasn't really been a big problem for me. I think in pictures, that's how my brain works. The problem for me is envisioning more than just the picture. It's really getting down to the nitty-gritty. It's my character's jogging through the woods. If I were jogging through the woods, what would bother me? What would stand out? And all these things. So it's when you have a piece of description, or if you have like a dialogue tag or a dialogue beat, it's my mom yelled at me or whatever. It's like, well, what's your mom wearing? Does she have curlers in her hair? Is she holding a skillet that makes her look dangerous? My mom's holding skillets. It's fucking dangerous. If you don't know, then now you know. But it's does her breath smell when she's yelling at you? All these sorts of things. It's can you add any of these things into the description to really bring it to life, to really cement the reader? Let's see, what were other things? It really has a lot to do with description. I kind of picked up on or missing things. Like, are there themes? Oh, another big one he talked about was a message. Does your story have a message? Is it relevant to society or to people? Yada, 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 whatever. But yeah, so I will link that whole article below. But I really just want to talk about this idea of missing elements in stories. I always talk about how plot, setting, and character are the big things that I outline. Those are the big things that I plan before I start writing my book. And then after I'm done drafting my novel, I revise those three big things, but then I revise for things like theme, for things like character voice, internal dialogue. But there are other aspects. There are so many aspects of a story. Description. Are we really in the character's head? Would the character use these types of analogies? Are there things relevant? Does it carry a message? Will people be able to relate and connect to the inner turmoil of this character? And at the top of all of this, is this a unique, fresh idea? Is this something people have never seen before? And that's actually really important. So yeah, that's all I have. I will link that blog post in the description box. But yeah, so for now, you should be writing stuff.